research toward independence. I put in an application to work for the CCC, and I was going to go to the YMCA and swim with the clients 3 times a week. I came in for the interview and sat down with Jill Johnson, and during the interview she stopped me and said, "No, I see way more in you than what you're applying for," and asked me to apply for the supervisor position. Maryland is my first home that I was at. I had staff that I worked with, other supervisors that I worked with, and immediately we all became a family. So working in the Maryland home, one of the first things that I experienced that gave me a good laugh was when I did the grocery shopping for the first time. I went to Kroger's, did all the grocery shopping, brought the groceries in the door, set them at the table, and Kelly Jo was here at the time, and she liked to help us put away the groceries. And her way of helping us put away the groceries was pulling things out of the bag and tossing them across the room. She had Down syndrome and Alzheimer's, so it was kind of tough to deal with because at some times she wouldn't know where she was, and you'd have to really comfort her because one minute she's here and then the next minute in her mind she was back to being like 4 years old and she didn't know where she was. She made life here so much easier to be here and work here because every time you walked in the door she hit you with a big smile and start counting with you, and you could tell as soon as you walked in the door that you made her day, that you were coming back. So the last 4 months that she was here, she was really having a hard time going to sleep. So I actually every night would lay in bed with her, and she would hold on to me, and I'd have to wait for her to fall asleep, and then I'd try and wiggle my way out, and then if she was asleep, I'd be able to wiggle out, but if she wasn't asleep yet, she would just hold me tighter and not let me go. So I'd lay there for a good 2 or 3 hours just waiting for her to fall asleep, but knowing that me laying there was helping her to actually get some sleep and some comfort was all the reason why I did it. I, 10 years ago, was in a homeless shelter with my kids. And when I came toward independence, we were renting a home. And my goal was always to buy a house. And with sticking with TI and the benefits that they give really helped me to get to that level. But what has really changed and helped me more than anything is every year we get a yearly bonus. And every year I do not feel like I have to worry about what am I going to do for Christmas, because we get the bonus right before Christmas time. So that really helps at the end of the year to be able to look at your kids and watch them open the Christmas presents because you worked hard, and TI saw that and gave back and gave a thank you back. And because of that thank you, I was able to provide for my kids every year for Christmas. Every job, there's situations that can make you disgruntled. It can make you feel like, oh, I can't do this anymore. There were several times as a supervisor where we would lose staff and we would have to do several overnights, and you start to feel like, man, this is getting overwhelming, but you just got to keep pushing through, because I always say that toward independence is like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're riding with your hands in the air and sometimes you're grabbing that bar for dear life, but you got to hang on because it definitely has more benefits than anything. TI is always looking for a way to make things better, and it does get better. Now I'm a proud homeowner. I've now got a house where all my kids have their own bedroom, which they are very thankful for. But every day that I leave here and pull in my driveway, I'm still just in awe that I'm pulling up to the house that I own. And I really have to give TI benefit for that. When I first started here, I actually applied for the position of swimming 3 days a week with the clients at the YMCA. Jill Johnson saw me and said, no, absolutely not. I see something more in you. I came up and had an interview with our program director at the time, and she said, absolutely, you're going to be a supervisor. So then I started as a supervisor, and that was over one home. Eventually, down the road, they had confidence in me and gave me 2 homes. While one needed a supervisor, I was over another one, and I went ahead and took both. And then I was able to be a supervisor of almost every ICF home that we have. And with that experience, when it came time to apply for this position, I already had all the experience in all the homes, and that was due to our program director guiding me to push myself beyond just one home and being a supervisor in one home. She pushed me to keep learning and move to other areas. So I did that. So when it was time to become program director, I had all the experience that I needed. But I was very not confident in myself because I wasn't walking around with a degree. And I thought, man, to do this job, you'd have to have a degree. And I asked some people in management and they said, no, sometimes experience is better than a degree. And they pushed me and I went ahead and applied. And now it's even walking up to this door and seeing my name on the nameplate and program director underneath it. I've been in this position since July, and I still get overwhelmed every time I see my name on the nameplate that I am the program director of the ICFs. And even here, you would think that at this point I'd be like, okay, I've done it, I've made it, but no, there's still more opportunity, there's still more chances to move up. And I'm going to continue to learn and continue to move up as much as I can because I'm not going anywhere. TI is home and it's where I'm going to stay.